and welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with Investing News Network. We're at PDAC 2023 in Toronto, and we're chatting with Karim Rayani, CEO and Director of Falcon Gold. Welcome, Karim.
Hi, Marilyn.
Let's start off with an overview of the company and bring us up to date on some of your priority projects.
Okay. So Falcon Gold trades on the venture exchange, symbol FG. We've got about 15 projects, which is quite a lot for a company of our size, $10 million market cap company. Where we really differ is, compared to some of our peers, is we own 100% of our projects. In 90% of our portfolio, we don't have any net smelter royalties. Mm-hmm. Most of our projects are acquired strictly on staking costs. So what this really allows us to do is to be able to really, spend the dollars in exploration instead of, payments. In these down times, things are difficult. We've been able to acquire one of the largest land packages in Newfoundland. I think most of your viewers would be familiar with a company called Newfound Gold. Mm-hmm. They created a staking frenzy. Eric Sprott, the resource billionaire, has been pumping in hundreds of millions of dollars into Newfoundland. So we've got 5 projects in central Newfoundland, all tied onto major structures. We're tied onto Gander Gold, we're tied onto Newfound Gold, we're tied onto Marathon, which is Northern Atlantic's largest gold deposit. And also within that portfolio, we also have a number of battery metal projects. We've also recently done an expansion into Central America. We have projects in Chile and Argentina, in the same camp as Yamana, Barrick, BHP, and we're having a lot of success over there. And most recently, with the whole lithium and electric car movement, we've been going after battery metal projects in Canada. So that's kind of a quick, I could probably spend a few hours just talking about those projects, but that's just a quick overview of what we're doing.
Right. So tell us some of the most interesting of your projects right now, the most promising that you're focusing on.
I'm quite excited about our gold assets. In Newfoundland, there's a number of companies making new discoveries. We have, up in the northern part of central Newfoundland, we've been hitting vanadium numbers. There's a few companies in our camp that have been hitting between 4 and 5% light rare earth elements. And this is all kind of like new territory. And we've got one of the largest land packages there. We've got permitting in about 35 to 40% of our projects. And we anticipate drills turning here in the next few months.
That's exciting. So
yes.
I guess being in Canada as well, that's a more of a friendly jurisdiction for mining. It makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Obviously keeping things in our backyard. It's easy access to the properties. We can keep a good eye on and get things really done in a timely manner.
Right. Let's talk about gold for a sec. So I wonder what your thoughts are on sort of this continuing inflation that's happening, and how it's impacting the gold sector.
Well, I think everyone would agree that inflation is here to stay. Quantitative easing is not going away. I think all the indicators there for a higher gold price, in the future it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Mm-hmm. Another 50 basis points is probably going to be creeping up on us, which is causing a lot of volatility. But eventually they're going to have to pull back, and that's really when you're going to see a price a movement in the price of gold. I anticipate 2023 is still going to be a rough ride, but I think for investors looking for opportunities and value, I think this is a great time. It's very difficult to call a bottom. If you wait for a bottom, you'll never be able to really reap the rewards. But I think we're pretty close.
Right. So now aside from what, as you mentioned, you also have starting to explore looking into the battery metal sector. Can you talk a little bit more about some of your assets in that, and what you would like investors to know about these battery metal assets?
So I know there's been a lot of attention focused on lithium, but with lithium, the major elements in the lithium battery is one is nickel and cobalt. Without nickel and cobalt, you can't make a lithium-ion battery. So I'm really going against the grain here. I see tremendous opportunity in the price of nickel, If you look at Anglo American, they just made a sizable investment into a company called Canada Nickel. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot of investment, come from the majors flowing into, companies like Falcon. We've been going after some similar type of projects, same type of geology, which is in the same camp as Canada Nickel. And we're hitting, some pretty good numbers at surface. Again, permitting is in, and the next few months for Falcon is going to be very, very busy in the battery metal space.
So when we're talking about lithium, one of the issues being discussed is developing that domestic supply, right? Being in Canada, so that North American supply of lithium. What are your thoughts on that? Like, are you seeing that sort of progressing, that sort of ambition to have a domestic supply?
Yes and no. I think that there's going to be supply coming out of China. They've got a lower grade, but obviously they're able to process it. Canada, there's definitely a shortfall. The price of lithium will probably continue to increase. Is it sustainable long term? That is the question. However, I see a greater opportunity in the other elements, and that's really where I'm focused.
Right. So if you're speaking to an investor right now looking at Falcon Gold, what's the main message you want to give them?
I think for our market cap, I think investors would be hard pressed to find another company in our category, in our market cap that has that does as much work. We've got 120 million shares out. Insiders, management own about 15 to 20%. We've got a strong geological team. We just completed a spin out, paid a dividend out to the shareholders. And that's really what our model is taking assets, packaging them up, not really a project generator, because what we do is when we spin the project out, it's still the same management. For example, we did the Lattimark spin out. We paid a 5-for-1 dividend out to the shareholders, and it's still the same management team. So what we're able to do is keep our share capitalization intact, pay a dividend out to the shareholders, and instead of diluting one company, we can then spread the cost out. So that's really what my model is moving forward.
That sounds great. And what does 2023 look like for the company?
2023, permitting is in. We should be drilling by Q3 on at least 2 to 3 projects. So we're finally, the first year and a half, 2 years was doing all the office geology, permitting, soils, and now we have enough data to really execute and go strong here.
That's great. Well, thanks for joining us today, and we'll hope to have you back again next time.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks. And thank you for watching. Join us again next time for another interesting conversation on CEO Insights.